Hey, I'm making a 2D multiplayer game inspired by Doodoo Army 2 and Call of Duty. Stick around as I summarize 1.5 years of work in a few minutes. Blech. I searched online on how to start making a game and I was overwhelmed. I mean, everyone just wants to teach you something, which is good, I guess. I saw the Solar 2D game engine, a free open source project with cross-platform capabilities. An awesome game engine. Awesome game engine. I was doing it. I was programming, coding, programming things, feeling really good about myself. And I made this. I basically ripped out images from Google and stuffed them into this. Just look at that physics. You've got physics, you've got Vegeta and physics. I mean, who wouldn't want to play this? And look at that professional parallax effect. That amazing graphics. I mean, this is next gen gaming. This is gaming. Believe it or not, I was actually proud of this piece of trash. Oh, I would have continued with the Solar 2D game engine, maybe brush up my art style, but I switched over to Unity, thinking that networking code would be easier in Unity. So I made this really boring menu scene with this creepy looking guy. I brushed up my art style and I created a better menu scene and added a login system where you can save your data online through your email and your password after registering and verifying your account. This is optional, of course. In the avatar section, you can select different platforms to stand on in the multiplayer lobby, as well as customizing your character to your taste. You can choose between different skins, and obviously I'm going to add more skins to the game. Next, we have the Killstreaks. The first one being the care package, which spawns a health pack and a boost bottle for your jetpacks. The sheep. Yes. The sheep. This one patrols and kills enemies that touches its ray. Then we have the Hunter Killer Bee. Yes, you heard that right. The Hunter Killer Bee. This one scans for the nearest player and blows up, killing both itself and the unlucky player. The Laser Sentry Gun. This needs no explanation. This is basically a sentry gun that shoots a laser. Yeah. The DTE. Down to Earth. Why? Because it attracts players where, you guessed it, down to earth. Why have one care package? Why not have two? This spawns two care packages, which gives you a health pack, an extra boost, an extra ammo, and a mine. The Battle Drone. I will advise you to run away from this one. There was no sign of it killing the enemy player, but it did. Very fast. We have the Invincibility. This one makes you totally invisible to other enemy players. This is actually one of my favorites. You can see on my screen I am semi-transparent, while on the other player's screen I am totally invisible. Ooh. Oh, and you should be silently invisible, because when you shoot, you lose that invisibility temporarily. The V935X. The V935X. Obviously, I did not know what to call this one, but I love it because it shows no mercy, leaving no trace of life. Oh, and you do have to be in a good position to use this, or you will be left completely open to enemy attacks. The jetpacks. All jetpacks have different stats, and you can select any jetpack you want depending on the stats you prefer. In the loadout, you can choose between different classes of weapons, either as your primary base weapon or different classes of weapons as your secondary base weapon. All guns as well as everything in game was drawn with Adobe Animate. You can train your character in the survival game mode, where you can also get a little BP points to buy items in the store. And by BP points, I mean battle points. You get to kill relentless psychotic bots in the survival game mode. I warn you, the bots here are weird. You might see some weird stuff, and it's impossible to see a humanoid bot that looks the same facially, as I have randomized their look to remove that familiar feeling you see in games when fighting with bots. They spawn with different weapons, of course. You can play survival in a total of 6 maps, and you have 3 different enemy types. You have the enemy type 1, which is the smaller robots. You have the enemy type 2, which carries smaller weapons. And then you have the enemy type 3, which carries bigger weapons like snipers and bazookas. In the pathfinding system, I'm using the A-star pathfinding algorithm. For the UI elements, we have the weapon button 1, the weapon button 2, this bar which shows your health and boost energy, the joystick 1 for movement, the joystick 2 for that fast-paced action, the reload button to switch bombs, throw bombs, and melee. I also added Unity's particle system to add that sweet, juicy feeling to the game. In the multiplayer section, I battled within myself on whether to use the Photon networking solution or Mirror. But since I hate myself, I decided to use them both. And this meant I had to write different scripts for Photon and Mirror individually. Blech. You can play in random matches or custom ones, choosing your preferred region online. Host a game or find a game which takes you to a lobby where you can find rooms to join. You can play in game modes such as Free for All or Team Deathmatch. I will add more game modes eventually. You can play in 8 different maps, each map having its own unique feeling. This is the gameplay of the match I played with my brothers. Making this game has been hell and fun at the same time, but mostly hell. Multiple problems such as bandwidth usage, network delays, lag compensation, really boring stuff. One of the main problems being network lag, which is an almost impossible thing to defeat in games. So what most game developers do to defeat this is to compensate for that lag and lie. Yes, lie. Imagine if you had ball A existing in its own dimension as well as the dimension of ball B, and they are both being affected by forces or physics, blah blah blah, and ball A tries to move itself in its own dimension as well as that of ball B. It may move fine, yeah, in its own universe, but it will be affected by physics or forces or message transmission speed or blah 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 in ball's B universe. So what ball A can do is to only send where it wants to move to ball B and not actually move, and let ball B move for it. I feel like I just said a bunch of trash. This started out as a hobby project and was supposed to be a small, short game, but I went too far as I am a feature freak. In subsequent videos, I will show the problems I faced while making this and the tips on how to avoid these problems, as well as showing more of gameplay elements. This game is coming out for both mobile and PC. I don't know when, but soon. I would like to hear your ideas or constructive criticism in the comments. To get more updates or to see more devlogs about the game, you should subscribe. Don't forget to like or you will see me in your sleep. Have a good one. Adios.